Hello, good morning. So today I'm going to start by asking a question. Why do the government agencies that we have still hire content creators like videographers and photographers to document their events when they have the public relations department? If I may ask, what is the duty of your public relations department? Why do the NGOs and private companies hire content creators, photographers, videographers, social media writers, when you have your communication department? What is the job of the communication department? We've come out from that stage in the new media where organizations and government agencies have to rely on external consultants to generate images and videos and content that they post on day-to-day in their social media. We are now in that era where every organization, be it government or private sector, must, as a matter of urgency, set up their own content studio inside their office to be able to meet up with the rising demand for day-to-day communication between the government and the citizens, or between the private sector and their consumers or customers, as the case may be. If you may recall, in the olden days, some organizations created and shared videos and photos about the activities once per month or once per week. Sometimes major government agencies didn't have any need to have even social media handles. We've come out of that era where NGOs and private sectors were only writing about the things they do in the traditional media, like the newspaper companies, Vanguard, Sun, Guardian. Now there is need to engage on day-to-day basis between you and your consumers, or between you and the citizens that you govern. So there is need to have an in-house team and equipment in place to meet up with that demand. So today we're going to be talking about the possibility of you, a government agency or a private sector or an individual who normally have need for day-to-day content, to have your own content studio in your office or house. What do you need to have a content studio? First of all, you have to create what I call the content strategy. The content strategy is a document that will outline your day-to-day needs. Are you going to be creating a podcast about the things that you do? Are you going to just create photos of your implementation in the field and write short stories? Are you going to conduct interviews to find out how the beneficiaries feel about the intervention that you just implemented? The content strategy will outline these needs. And after the content strategy, you will be able to start to set up the equipment. I will give you a typical example of what a government agency or an NGO need in-house to be able to mobilize their in-house public relations department or communication department to be able to not only distribute information but to generate valuable content that they will distribute in the internet space. So when it comes to cameras, I'm going to list just 2 cameras. The Canon have the mirrorless series, the Canon R series, where you have the R7, R5 and the rest of it. And Sony have Sony A7 series. where you have Sony A7 Mark II, Sony A7 Mark III, Sony A7S, Sony A7R. So these mid-range cameras were created specifically to support organizations and government agencies and individual content creators to have a run-to camera they can use for both photography, videography, portraits, landscape. And these cameras have resolution as wide as 4K. So first, your organization or government agency may have to buy this kind of camera. You have to buy LED lights. LED lights are video lights you can use together with your camera to lighten up, more especially interviews. You will have a lavalier microphone. We call it lapel microphone, where is wireless. You have a pair that you connect on the person you're interviewing, and then you connect the other one to the camera. And if you are this NGO or government agency that have frequent programs and events that you always live stream, it means that you have to also buy a wireless video transmitter, which can transmit footage from that your mirrorless camera to your system where you're going to live stream it. Or you buy a YOLO box. A YOLO box is like a mobile tool that you can use to connect all the social media handles and connect your footage from your camera to it, and then you stream them live. For those that have to take quality photos during your events and programs, in addition to buying that mirrorless camera, you can also buy an external speed light. Speed light, commonly called flash in Nigeria, is a kind of photography tool that you just attach on top of your mirrorless or DSLR camera, which triggers lights whenever you click the shoot button. So it helps to lighten up your image when you are shooting anywhere, and is easy to carry around. So if you have your very quality camera like the ones I've mentioned, and you have your sound device to pick quality sound, and you have your speed lights, the flash to take good photos, you can use that single camera to take both videos and photos of your events without having to hire external bodies to document that event. So what you may need to do is to reach out to organizations like Capital Power Multimedia to help to build the capacity of your team, to enable them understand how to use these cameras and sound devices and lights and flash to create quality content. In the area of post-production, yes, after creating this content, you need to take it back to your office or home studio or studio where you will compile them and send them out to the social media. So if you put your team together and build their capacity, they will know how to operate the equipment. And then for the post-production, that's the editing of the content that you've created. You will need to have a computer and some softwares, like for instance, for video editing, you can have Adobe Premiere, or you can have a CapCut installed in your computer. So once you finish shooting, if it's an event or program, you just come back to your office, capture the video into your computer, and then you use your Adobe Premiere or CapCut to put the video together, and then you can start to distribute to social media handles. So for computer resolutions from 5th generation upwards, you get computers with at least 16 gig RAM and 1 terabyte hard drive. That computer will be able to do the editing process. And for those that do design or photo editing, you might also want to get design softwares like Canva installed, or photo editing softwares like Photoshop installed, so that immediately after your shoot, you go to your system and you edit in-house and publish. So this will help with brand consistency. Remember, as an organization or a body, you must have your brand guideline. The brand guideline is a document that will contain your fonts, your colors, the color mixing, every information you want people that will engage in design or production of your content to know. That way you have brand consistency. So if you produce a video today, the logo will be somewhere, the chest captions will have their own colors to blend with the corporate branding of your organization or government agency. And so if you begin to do this, you will see how you start to save your organization or company a lot of resources, because instead of hiring consultants and having to go through the information sharing and the rest of them, you can just do your production in-house, and that will improve the consistency with which your content is being produced and distributed in the internet. Thank you so much. You can reach out to us if this helped, and if you want us to build the capacity of your team in-house to be able to engage in all your content production needs. See you again soon.